Hey guys, what's up? Excoundrel here, and today we have another video looking at new units in Command & Conquer Rivals. This video is brought to you by EA Game Changers. Now, EA Game Changers is a program that allows content creators access to utilities or resources that would better help their content creation. In this instance, EA have given me access to an experimental build of Command & Conquer Rivals, which has every unit unlocked, and it allows me to test them on my own and also look at some of the new units that are getting revealed in the main game. So the first unit that we're going to look at is the new GDI unit, and it is the War Dogs. The War Dogs come from the War Factory. They are a 4-vehicle squad, and they cost 10 Tiberium. They are very fast, and they are anti-infantry units only. The War Dogs are super cheap, very good for early control, especially if your opponent goes heavy on infantry in the early game. They do have their weaknesses, but we'll cover those in just a second. But for the most part, you'll notice that War Dogs, they're very quick, they get into position very nicely, they trade up against GDI riflemen really easily. They will have problems trading up against missile squads, however. Even though they are anti-infantry units, they are very susceptible to anti-vehicular counters, including missile squads. So you can't really go blow for blow with just a missile squad as a set of GDI War Dogs. And you can see here that it takes 2 rounds of GDI War Dogs to even get a single kill on a missile squad of the same level. They're also going to be very susceptible to things like pit bulls. They're also going to suck versus most vehicles, and they also can't attack air, so they can't attack anything in the air. So what are these things useful for? Well, they can do this. They are very good at rushing points, and even though these guys have got missile squads on the point, I have spent the same amount of Tiberium and I will outtrade them and have a far higher presence on the map simply because of how cheap they are and how quick they are to get into position. So this is the benefit of War Dogs. Super early game control. They really would start to lose a lot of their efficacy apart from body blocking as the game progresses, but they are very good at dominating that early portion of the game and can allow you to maybe subvert some infantry into some later game builds because these guys will control versus infantry very well. Like I said though, they are going to struggle versus vehicles, they're going to struggle versus air. They can't attack the air, they're also going to be absolutely next to useless versus things like pit bulls, in fact most vehicles in general. So they have a very limited scope in terms of what they can achieve. However, it allows you to be a bit more creative with your deck building. It also means that you don't need infantry as anti-infantry units, and you have a very cheap answer to high infantry volumes in the early game. Now we always cover one GDI and one Nod unit in these videos, and today is no exception. Nod have got a release as well, and it is the Widowmaker. The Widowmaker is, as you can see, a giant robotical spider. But more than that, it is Nod's answer to the Wolverine. Nod didn't really have any cheap Temple of Nod units, and at 80 Tiberium, this makes it one of the cheapest Temple of Nod units out there. It is an anti-infantry, anti-aircraft vehicle, which means, again, comparable to the Wolverine in almost every way, shape and form. It is not tanky, but it is a good late game frontline unit that is very versatile in a lot of situations, and I think will find a lot of places in people's decks. So you'll notice here we're going to show its anti-infantry power. Even versus these missile squads that are good versus it, it dispatches them very, very quickly. Very high damage output on the Widowmaker against the infantry. And also you'll notice that the missile barrage that it has versus aircraft is very good at dispatching aircraft as well. Even this is only a sort of a easy aircraft to take down, you can see the power of these units. What it does struggle versus is vehicles, and I know this is a bit of an obtuse example because the Mammoth tank is a very, very powerful unit versus vehicles, but you can see that it goes down very quickly to anything that is designed to take down vehicles, especially the vehicle units themselves, so you need to be very careful with your placement. However, I do feel that the Widowmaker is a very versatile unit. It can trade up against a lot of things. It's really good and spammable in the late game. And again, like I said, is good versus lots of different things, including those infantry and aircraft units. Now you'll see it does struggle versus things like Zone Troopers. Obviously, Zone Troopers are very powerful units, but again, it will trade into it nicely, and you can see it practically takes an even trade in terms of Tiberium value and HP value at the end of that. Alright guys, that was the 2 new units, the War Dogs and the Widowmaker. They should be available for play if you have access to Command & Conquer Rivals. If you don't have access to Command & Conquer Rivals, there is a smart link in the description below. It officially releases worldwide on the 4th of December, so keep checking back, keep checking that link, and on the 4th of December you should get access to this game. See you soon.